Welcome back to the HR space with Lilian, where we break down workplace issues into simple human language. I am Lilian, and this is part two of our conversation on age discrimination. In part one, we talked about what ageism is, what it looks like in real Ghanaian workplaces, and the emotional and organizational cost it creates. Today, we are getting practical. I'm going to break down what the law actually says in Ghana about age discrimination. And I'm going to give you concrete steps you can take to protect yourself, whether you're an older worker, a younger worker, or an employer trying to do the right thing. Let me start with a legal reality. Under the Ghanaian law, there's no specific legislation that explicitly addresses age discrimination as a standalone offense. There's no age discrimination act like you might find in other countries. It is not treated the same way gender or race is in terms of explicit legal protection. But does that mean you have no protection? Legal protections are derived from the 1992 Constitution of Ghana and broader labor laws that prohibits general discrimination. So let me break it down. The 1992 Constitution, Article 17, subsection 1 states, all persons are equal before the law. That's the foundation. Everyone in Ghana has equal legal standing. Article 17, subsection 2 prohibits discrimination based on gender, race, color, ethnic origin, religion, creed, social or economic status. Now here's the important part. Age is not explicitly listed in Article 17, subsection 2. So does that mean age discrimination isn't legal? No. Here's how it works. Legal experts and government bodies interpret the Constitution as providing a blanket restriction on all forms of discrimination, including age, even though it's not explicitly listed. The principle of equality under Article 17, subsection 1, all persons are equal before the law, is seen as covering discrimination broadly, not just the specific categories listed in Article 17, subsection 2. What this means in practice: the good news, you can argue that age discrimination violates the constitutional principle of equality. The challenge, because age isn't explicitly listed, enforcement is weaker. It's open to interpretation, and that makes it harder to prove and harder to challenge in court compared to something like gender or race discrimination, which are explicitly named. The reality: most age discrimination cases in Ghana don't go to court. They are handled internally through HR, or people just accept it and move on. And that's a problem. Because when there is no clear, explicit legal protection, employers feel less pressure to address ageism, and employees feel less empowered to speak up. Now, let's talk about why employers should care about this beyond just it's the right thing to do. Because here's the business case in this scenario: age diversity makes organizations stronger. What older workers bring, like we explained in part one, they bring experience and institutional knowledge. They bring stability and reliability. They bring better problem solving. They also bring mentorship capacity, which can guide younger workers and also transfer knowledge, develop future leaders as well. And what does the younger workers bring? They bring fresh perspectives, digital fluency, energy and ambition, long-term potential. And so when you combine all these, you get a workplace that's resilient, innovative, and balanced. You get a cross-generational mentorship, you get knowledge transfer, you get the wisdom of experience, meeting the energy of ambition. That's not just good for the culture, that's good for business. It makes sense long term to build out leadership in your workforce across all age ranges. That diversity of perspective, that range of experience, that's a competitive advantage. But you only get that advantage if you stop making decisions based on age and start making them based on contributions, capability, and potential. So let's get practical here. If you're an older worker, what can you actually do to protect yourself from age discrimination? One, keep your skills up to date. This is critical. Don't let yourself become the person who doesn't do technology or can't adapt to change. Stay current, take courses, learn new tools. Show that you are not stuck in the past, you are evolving with the present. Because here's the truth, if people perceive you as outdated, you need to actively counter that narrative. If you don't own your story, someone else will define it for you. And two, be continually trained. Don't wait for your company to offer training. Seek it out. Enroll in workshops. Get certifications. Show that you are invested in growth, not just coasting to retirement. And three, know your legal rights. While in Ghana while Ghana doesn't have explicit age discrimination legislation, you do have constitutional protections under Article 70. If you experience discrimination, document it. Keep records of it. Keep records of what was said or done, when it happened, who was involved, how it affected your work or opportunities. If you need to escalate, having documentation strengthens your case. And four, make your contributions visible. Don't assume people see your value. Make sure your work is visible. Speak up in meetings, share your insights, volunteer for projects. Don't let yourself be quietly sidelined. And five, build relationships across generations. Don't isolate yourself with only people your own age. Mentor younger colleagues. Learn from them too. Show that you are collaborative and not territorial. When people see you as someone who adds value across the organization, not just someone defending the old way, ageist assumptions lose its power. And if you're a younger worker, here's how you also need to protect yourself. One, build your credibility through results. If people think you are too young, prove them wrong with your work. Deliver consistently, show up prepared, and exceed their expectations. Make it impossible to ignore your contributions. Let your results speak louder than their assumptions. And two, seek mentorship from older colleagues. Instead of seeing them as obstacles, learn from them. Build relationships. Show that you value their experience. And that respect often gets reciprocated. And when older colleagues champion you, doors start opening. And three, be patient but persistent. Yes, it's frustrating when you are ready and people don't see it. But keep pushing, keep developing, keep showing what you are capable of. Sometimes you have to wait for the right opportunity, but don't stop preparing for it. And four, don't internalize the rejection. If you are told you are too young, remember that's about their perception, not your capability. Don't let it make you doubt yourself. Don't let it make you shrink. Use it as a fuel to prove them wrong. And five, document everything. Just like older workers, if you are facing discrimination, document it. Keep records of it. Being passed over for opportunities you were qualified for, comment about your age, exclusions from meetings or projects based on age. If you need to escalate or seek legal advice, documentation is critical or important. And if you are an employer or a manager, here's what you need to do to address ageism in your workplace. One, make hiring and promotion decisions based on capability, not age. Ask yourself, am I passing over this person because of their actual performance or because of assumptions I'm making about their age? Be honest, because those assumptions, they are too old to learn this. They are too young to handle that, are often wrong, and they are costing you talent. Two, create cross-generational mentorship programs. Pair older and younger workers intentionally. Let them learn from each other. That's how you build a strong and resilient workforce. And it breaks down the us versus them mentality that ageism creates. And three, invest in training for all ages. Don't assume older workers won't get it or younger workers already know everything. Everyone benefits from development. Make training accessible, make it expected, make it part of your culture. And four, address ageist language and attitudes. If someone makes a comment like, they are too old for this, or they are too young to be taken seriously, call it out. Don't let it slide. Make it clear that ageism isn't tolerated. And five, audit your decision. Look at your promotion patterns, your redundancy decisions, your hiring choices. Are certain age groups consistently favored? Are others consistently excluded? If you see patterns, then you have an ageism problem. So fix it before you lose your best people. So, what do you do if you are experiencing age discrimination and your employer isn't addressing it? Step one, document everything. Before you escalate, make sure you have clear records of what happened, when, who was involved, and how it affected you. Step two, report internally first. Go to HR or a manager you trust. Present your case clearly and factually. Ask for a fair investigation. And step three, if internal processes fail, seek external support. You can consult with a labor lawyer to understand your options under the Constitution, or report to the Labor Commission if your employer isn't addressing the discrimination. Seek advice from professional HR organizations or advocacy groups. Also remember, while Ghana doesn't have explicit age discrimination legislation, the constitutional principle of equality under Article 17 can be used to argue your case. It's not as straightforward as it is in countries with specific age discrimination laws, but you are not without recourse. And here's what I want you to take away from this two-part series. Ageism is real. It affects older workers and younger workers, and it's damaging to everyone, individuals and organizations alike. Ghana doesn't have explicit age discrimination legislation, but the Constitution principle of equality under Article 17 provides a foundation for challenging age-based discrimination. The challenge is that without explicit legal protection, ageism often goes unchallenged. It's accepted as just how things are, but it doesn't have to be. Whether you are an older worker fighting to stay relevant, a younger worker fighting to be taken seriously, or an employer trying to build a fair workplace, you have the power to challenge ageism. Keep your skills updated, make your contributions visible, build cross generational relationships, document discrimination when it happens, and speak up. Because your value isn't defined by your age, it's defined by what you bring to the table. And workplaces that understand that, those are the ones that thrive. That's it for our two-part series on age discrimination. If this resonated with you, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you have experienced ageism, whether you are older or younger, I would love to hear your story. And thanks for joining me on the HR Space with Lilian. And always remember, HR isn't just about policies, it's about people. And people of all ages deserve respect, opportunity, and chance to contribute. I will see you in our next episode. And please don't forget to share, subscribe with your friends, and like our page. Thank you. Bye bye.